So much better. Okay. Actually, look at you. We look so hard for something that brings us happiness. We tend to look outside ourselves and forget what we have within. We put our hands together to find peace in our days. The present moment is all we have. Don't let it slip away. If we close our eyes, remember all that we have. Our hearts will fill a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by all the hatred and pain. If we can look past our differences, there's so much we can gain. If we open our eyes to see the beauty inside, our hearts will feel a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Let's join our hands together in gratitude we treasure the golden chain of love. Our hearts gathered in one place, our differences will embrace. We will be as one. Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Namo Amida Butsu.
Yeehaw! Good morning, y'all. Aloha kakahiaka. Ohau gozaimasu. How y'all doing today? It's me, Barkley the dog, the rascal dog, coming to you from Makawao Hongwanji Buddhist Temple in historic Makawao Town on the beautiful island of Maui in the great state of Hawaii. Good morning, everyone. Aloha kako. Mahalo for joining us this morning. Let's see who's with us here this morning. Oh my, there's so many wonderful children and Dharma buddies from around the world. Hello, everyone. And I can see our Dharma school teachers, Auntie Sharon and Auntie Karen, too. Mahalo, y'all, for organizing such a fun Hanamatsuri. Hoo-wee! Next year, I hope you kids will bathe the baby Buddha and Barkley the dog, too. Hee-haw! Y'all put some sweet tea on my head, and then I put some sweet tea on y'all's heads, and then we pour sweet tea on Sensei's head. What do you say? Barkley, be good, but not too much. Say, kids, Snoopy the dog and Kermit the frog asked me to ask you, our Dharma buddies, a big favor. Would you wash your hands a lot and wear a mask and avoid crowds indoors and get the vaccine as soon as you can, okay? Because then we can play together again in person real soon. Mahalo, kids. Remind Mommy and Daddy and Grandpa and Grandma too, okay? That's very gentlemanly of you, Barkley. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration. Working together, soon we'll be playing together. Yeah, and then we can pour sweet tea all over each other. Hoo-wee! Barkley, be good, but not too much. Okay, over to you, Sensei. Me and the Dharma buddies, we're going to go over to Uncle Floyd's house because he's having a happy hour. Now, I don't know exactly what a happy hour is, but sure sounds like fun, doesn't it? Because everybody's going to be real happy, right? Yeah, we go, yeah? Chee-hoo! All right. Ahui-ho! Today's story is Eyes That Kiss in the Corners by Joanna Ho, illustrated by Dung Ho. Some people have eyes like sapphire lagoons, with lashes like lace trim on ball gowns, sweeping their cheeks as they twirl. Big eyes, long lashes. Not me. I have eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea. My eyes are just like Mama's. Mama's eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea crinkle into crescent moons when she comes home from work. She scoops me into her arms, eyes sparkling like starlights, and tickles me until we laugh ourselves onto the floor. When Mama tucks me in at night, her eyes tell me I'm a miracle. In those moments when she's all mine, flecks of dancing gold tell me I'm hers too. My Mama is my sun and sky, and her eyes are just like Amma's. Amma's eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea don't work like they used to, but she sees all the way into my heart and can even read my mind. Her eyes are filled with so many stories, I can fall inside them and swim until time stops. I see Kuan Yin with the Monkey King sitting on a lotus, serene. Bubbles of lychee on trees and mountains that reach for the sky. My Amma never ages, and her eyes are just like Mei-mei's. Mei-mei's eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea blink against the window until I come home from school. They disappear beneath her two-tooth smile when I walk in the door. She toddles after me, gazing up at me like I am her best present. I hope she looks at me like that forever, because when she looks at me in that Mei-mei way, I feel like I can fly. Mei-mei's eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea are just like mine. My eyes crinkle into crescent moons and sparkle like the stars. Gold flecks dance and twirl while stories whirl in their oolong pools, carrying tales of the past and hope for the future. My eyes find mountains that rise ahead and look up when others shut down. My lashes curve like the swords of warriors, and through them I see kingdoms in the clouds. My eyes that kiss in the corners and glow like warm tea are a revolution. They are Mama and Amma and Mei-mei. They are me. And they are beautiful. The end. And that was the story, Eyes That Kiss in the Corners by Joanna Ho, illustrated by Dung Ho. See you again soon.
Good morning. My name is Carol Yamamura. Welcome to our Eshin-ni Kakushin-ni Day service. Who were Eshin-ni and Kakushin-ni? Simply put, Eshin-ni was the wife of our founder, Shinran Shōnin, and Kakushin-ni was their daughter, the youngest of their 6 children. Eshin-ni is described as refined and well-educated, and she was also a landowner. This allowed her to survive and raise a family and support Shinran financially, enabling him to pursue his studies and preaching. Thanks to Eshin-ni's letter to Kakushin-ni, we know that the Nembutsu guided her life and she had a deep reverence for her husband and pursuits. The marriage between Shinran and Eshin-ni was one of mutual nurturing and support. Kakushin-ni was her father's caregiver in his final years. After Shinran's death at age 90, Kakushin-ni wanted to keep Shinran's teachings alive and worked to perpetuate it. She built a temple enshrining an image of Shinran, and soon after, people started to gather and learn of Shinran's teachings. Kakushin-ni's foresight and deep appreciation for the Nembutsu teachings saved Shinran's work and established the foundation of Jodo Shinshu. The contributions of both Eshin-ni and Kakushin-ni have had a lasting impact on the Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Eshin-ni gave Shinran her complete dedication and support, and Kakushin-ni established the foundation from which to transmit these teachings. In October of 1911, 4 years after the establishment of Paia Hongwanji in 1907, the ladies of Paia Hongwanji organized and established the Fujinkai. In the 1970s, Paia Hongwanji closed and reestablished itself in Makawao. This year, 2021, is the 110th anniversary of Makawao's BWA. Both Eshin-ni and Kakushin-ni were devout followers of Jodo Shinshu and at the same time diligently performed their roles as wives and mothers. This is not unlike so many female temper members here at Makawao, from the Issei to the present generations who have made great contributions and sacrifices to strengthen our temple and Jodo Shinshu, and all the while also taking care of their families. Today, we honor Eshin-ni and Kakushin-ni as we also honor some of the maiden ladies who have been so special to Makawao. Thank you.
Good morning, Buddhist Women's Association members and Makawao Hongwanji Buddhist Temple, Ohana. I'm Marilyn Morikawa, and today, in the tradition of Eshin-ni and Kakushin-ni, I'd like to talk about the many ladies who have been our legacy from Paia and Makawao Hongwanjis. These are just some of the many ladies. Ladies of Makawao Hongwanji, 1970s to 1990s. But first, going back to Paia Hongwanji, the Fujinkai ladies were Issei, first generation from Japan, often picture brides who came to start a new life in an unknown land, supporting husbands, raising American children, and working in the home and sometimes in the sugarcane fields. This is Obachang Hatsuno Mihara, who took care of Paia Hongwanji when there was no reverend during World War II. She walked to church every day, kept it clean, and chased away intruders. After the war, she walked house to house, collecting gojikai dues to rebuild the church funds. She was widowed at 39 years old and ran the Furo, bathhouse, in Nashua Camp, where Paia Hongwanji was located. Reverend Chikai Yosemori, resident minister 1964 to 1981, tells that in 1966, Obachang wanted to honor her husband's 50th memorial service and celebrate her 88th birthday. She wanted all the Hongwanji ministers on Maui to chant Sambu Kyo and invited her family, friends, and remaining Japanese families in Paia. She said, "It would be truly regrettable if we were to all leave Paia without doing something together." The service began at 1 p.m. with over 300 people, reciting the 3 okyos. Took 4 hours with 2 intermissions. At 5 o'clock, everybody was invited for dinner in the social hall. Most came not knowing what the service would be like, but left with a lasting memory of the okyos in their minds and hearts, and a lasting memory of Obacha. When Paia Hongwanji became Makawao Hongwanji in 1971, the ladies from the different communities forged new friendships and united together for Otera no Tameni, for the sake of the church. These pictures are from 1982, at a time when there were 2 groups. This Fujinkai was for those 70 and older, and the Asoka Club was for younger. Each group in 1981 had 80 members listed by communities, with leaders assigned to head a phone tree. Later, the two groups joined to become one Buddhist Women's Association. Martha Mihara was one of the dedicated cooks of Paia and Makawao Hongwanji, cooking in the days when hundreds of people came to special events as well as work days. She was a longtime secretary-treasurer of Fujinkai at the time when the Reverend's wife was always the president. In 1984, she was the first Makawao Hongwanji woman to receive the Fukunaga Dana Award for service to the church. Tsugie Otani rallied all the Kula farmers to donate vegetables to the church. She was the one who started making sambaizuke and other pickled vegetables. When she asked for your help, you couldn't say no. Even with her weak heart, she would oversee the pulling of daikon and making over 1,000 pints of sambaizuke. She and her husband raised corn to donate to the bazaar and obon. Fresh corn on the cob was very popular. According to Sam Morikawa's newsletter article, even from the hospital, she worried about the church, telling what to do, what to make, and how to make it. Visitors to her hospital bed were reminded, go help at church. Many people want to do fundraising to pay off the expenses of building the new church. The bazaar and garage sales soon became popular events. This picture is from the Maui News, July 1999. The ramen sale was organized by Kyoko Tagawa and the Paia ladies. All through the 1980s, she was in charge of sorting and pricing used clothes for 5 and 10 cents. She was also a very good seamstress and sewed the aprons the ladies are wearing in the pictures. Later, Rachel Gio and Setsuko Asato followed in her footsteps. Tomie Okinaka, with the white purse, and her husband Stanley started making pickled peach that the Olinda and Kula farmers donated. They were busy coordinating the many volunteers who came to do pickled peach, making over 1,000 gallons in a typical year. Who started making chow fun? In the early 1970s, Paia ladies, led by Clara Hamai, began chow fun. She was the wife of then Kyodan President Lester Hamai and mother of current President Clyde. She had helped her mother run Matsui's store in Lower Paia, which was famous for good chow fun. Ladies worked around all the tables, spending hours chopping beans and carrots. One lady remembers learning to slice green onions sideways from Mrs. Hamai. Boiling the dry noodles on the outdoor stoves was a back-breaking job. Many ladies and men helped with this. This is Mrs. Kikue Yamamura, who was in charge of chow fun for bazaar and obon after Mrs. Hamai. Many other times she made vegetable tempura, donuts, pies, and cookies with her friend Marilyn Morikawa. If you are fortunate to remember the 1980s and 90s, you'll remember what good bakers Mrs. Yama and Mrs. Morikawa were, together with others like Mrs. Matsui, Mrs. Kijima, Mrs. Tamura, Mrs. Hidani, Mrs. Terao. I'm sorry, I can't remember all their names. They made pies, cakes, banana, carrot, zucchini bread, and cookies to sell at the bazaar. 8 different kinds of cookies were made, and over 1,000 bags were baked and sold in April and May for pre-sale, and in June for the July bazaar. Natsue Kamitani brought her recipes and also made cookies. She is in the middle, selling the baked products with her daughters and Charlotte Hamasaki. So much help was needed. Imagine all the ladies who came to help. Of course, the men came too. The men were happy to come because lunch was always plentiful and delicious. And the desserts and snacks for break time were the best. Makawao cooks were famous all over Maui. Florence Sakai was a longtime president of the Asoka Club and the first woman Makawao Hongwanji president in 1987 to 88. She made nishime for bazaar, lunch for pickled peach workers, and cooked for all occasions with her paia gang, like Ruth Magaru-Fuji in this picture. Also, Mrs. Taniguchi, Mrs. Nakagawa, Mrs. Tokuoka, and again, I apologize for not being able to name everyone. Once she was packing to go on a trip, but she prepared chicken curry for the cleanup day, so it could just be warmed up for lunch. She often shared her Japanese dancing at church events. Masuyo Doi was president of the Asoka Club and then BWA. As a hard-working cook, she made jams and jellies for bazaar and brought the original sweet potato manju recipe to church. She prepared food for obon in the days when there was a hospitality room for guests and workers. Hundreds of people enjoyed Makawao's delicious food and refreshments. Imagine making over 300-400 musubi by hand. Any special occasion saw the ladies get together to make sushi, many different kinds of sushi. Hamakua Poko ladies like Haru Tanaka and Yao Heidani mixed the rice at paia and later Makawao Hongwanji. Many other ladies like Faji Tanaka, Yoshie Terao, and Teruko and Chiyoko Karimoto helped. Over 1,000 rolls of sushi were made, and the rice was all cooked the old-fashioned way over the fire in the wooden boxes. One of my favorites was sekihan, made by Florence Taniguchi. Auntie Chiyoko Karimoto was always dedicated to the church. From her teenage days collecting 25 cents a month church dues in paia, to starting Sunday school in Haile Maile for her children in the 1950s, cooking lunch for her husband and the carpenters, building the new church in Makawao, making sushi for bazaar, and bringing Sunday school refreshments every Sunday when she was in her 80s. When she had her 88th birthday party, she invited all the children from church to attend. The ladies of Makawao Hongwanji not only worked hard, otera no tameni, for the sake of the church, but they also had fun together. They traveled to state and world conventions together, like this one in Kaanapali in 1981. I wish we had time to show you more pictures. Some joined the Dharma School in 1993, staying overnight at Hyatt Regency Hotel, enjoying a luau together, and even swimming in the swimming pool. The yearly New Year's luncheon was a time to put aside their aprons, dress up, and enjoy being treated royally at a special restaurant. These are but a few of the many ladies of Makawao Hongwanji, 1970s to 1990s. Many, many ladies that are not named also just really, really helped at the church. and today we are the benefactors of all their hard work and dreams for the future. We continue to use their recipes and try to perfect skills we learned from them. These ladies gave from the heart, with no thought of receiving anything in return. As one lady said, "It's my tanoshimi, pleasure, my satisfaction, to do what I can." Today, as we honor Eshin-ni, Kakushin-ni, and remember the ladies of Makawao Hongwanji, 1970s to 1980s, we put our hands together and bow our heads in gratitude and say, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu.